step on the field for this game. But for those of you that are just aching to watch some football, you'll have some on tonight, even though it's preseason, doesn't count. And you may not know a lot of the players on the field. You'll have at least a game on the TV tonight, again, starting at 7 o'clock.
Football, as Searles likes to say.
Football. Think he'll be watching? He might.
Yes. If there's football on, he'll watch.
Yeah, you're probably right. Let's start with volleyball. Camden did talk about this in the ticker, that the Huskers were the preseason pick in the Big Ten Conference and had 5 preseason all-conference picks. They nudged out Wisconsin, followed by Penn State, Purdue, Minnesota. Oregon was 6. You and I were talking off air that seems a little low for the Ducks. That's a Elite 8, Sweet 16 type program year in and year out. UCLA is 7, USC is 7, UCLA is 8, Ohio State 9, and the ever-improving Indiana program is up to number 10 in the poll. But Huskers, with all those people back, you add Taylor Landfair, you add some really talented freshmen, kind of hard not to pick against them. Wisconsin reloaded, and they're going to be really good, but just based on what you have back from last year, I don't know how you couldn't just pick the Huskers.
Yeah, and I think obviously was internally with the team, it doesn't matter, right? It's all about where you finish, but I think they've earned the right to be the preseason favorite, and they are fully aware of the expectations, the target on the back, all of that. It was a little bit different feel last year. Didn't know how this team was going to come together, how special of a year it was going to end up being because they were so young. But now they know, they've proven what they can do. They only got better because they didn't lose any of the key contributors. You get a healthy Lindsey Krause back, and then you add Taylor Landfair. It just, I don't know how. I think probably for most people, like, how do you not vote them number one? They're the reigning champs, and they deserve it. So I think they deserve to be the preseason favorite. And, they'll have to – it'll be a different approach. And I was talking with Lauren Cook-West the other day, and she was saying the same thing. It's a different feel. We were – going into it, how it's going into it this year and the expectations and having to manage that, it's a lot different. So, luckily they've got some great leaders in that locker room that I know will figure out a way to help navigate it, because it is going to be a different way to navigate this season than it is last season, and it is every year, but it's drastically different, I think, feeling-wise going into this season as it was where we were a year ago.
The 5 Huskers that garnered preseason nominations, Merritt Beeson, Lexi, were both unanimous selections, and then Taylor Landfair, Harper Murray, and Bergen Riley, the other 3. The next closest team to have on was 3 selections, Nebraska with 5 going into this season. Again, the Huskers had that undefeated regular season until the very end of conference play last year. Ended up 33-2. Their losses were to the Badgers up in Wisconsin on that last weekend of the regular season, and then obviously the Texas Longhorns beat Nebraska in the national championship match. First practice is Monday. This is odd to me, too. The Big Ten volleyball media days are Monday and Tuesday. So I don't know why they couldn't have done that this week. Maybe the coaches didn't want to do it, but you're going to interrupt teams' practices to bring them to Chicago, or bring some players and the head coach, obviously, to Chicago to do a media day. Love the fact that they're doing one, but it seems odd to me that you do it on day 1 and 2 of the NCAA allowed practices for the teams. But I guess I'm being picky here.
Wouldn't today and tomorrow be a good day?
Right? Would make sense.
Oh, I would think so. But
I don't know. Maybe John Cook knows the answer. Maybe John Cook wanted it next week. Maybe he wants to take a couple days of vacation here at the end of this week. But it's here for volleyball as well. First practice again on Monday, and we'll be following them through their camp as well. Big day for Simone Biles, Jess. She did it. She wins the all-around again. A nice bounce back for her after the tough time she had in Tokyo 3 years ago. She was terrific today, and I think she cements herself as the greatest gymnast of all time. Yeah,
and maybe even you got to put her in the list of greatest athletes of all time, right? Female in the country, right? Just with what she's been able to do. Someone asked me today, do you think she is done? And I think so. I mean, she's the oldest woman to win gold in the all-around since, 1954 or something like that. But she's still just so much better than everybody else in the world. She even can make mistakes and still is that dominant. And being that the Olympics are on home soil, I think she's done, but I wouldn't be surprised, right? What do you think?
I think there's a 50-50 chance she comes back. She's 27. So she'd be 31 in 4 years when it's in Los Angeles. I think the home turf might factor into that decision, but she has not lost the ability to be an incredible gymnast. Her skill set has not diminished at all with age. That was the old thing about it, that women's gym, and to a certain degree the men, you start to lose flexibility. You get into your 20s. But for her, she kind of is pushing back on that theory with what she's been able to do. She's just amazing, and today she needed a really good floor routine to win it. The gal from Brazil really pushed her hard, and she nailed it. And I was really happy, Jess, for Suni Lee, the unbelievable story that she's had health-wise the last couple of years, for her to battle back and to get a bronze medal. And she needed a good floor routine to jump another gymnast to get to 3. I was really happy for Suni Lee, and so the U.S. took 1 and 3 in the all-around. That's really impressive.
Yeah, it really is. You know, going back to Simone, too, and just she's still doing the hardest skills of any gymnast in the world, and then that is why, I mean, her difficulty is through the roof. So you got to think she could probably even bring down the difficulty a little bit and still make the team and still contribute, if that's the case, just to be able to compete on home soil. So I just feel like she's that much better. And as you said, it's advanced, and she is just a different kind of athlete that being that it's in America the next time around, I would not be surprised if she tried to make another go at it. But Suni was a great story today, too. They tried to build up the drama a little bit, you know, if you were watching on the broadcast, to make it seem, oh, we have some intrigue here after the first 2 rotations. Simone not in first, but you knew that she was going to, as long as she hit her routines, she was going to be able to pull ahead. But still, I mean, the fact that she had to hit, that still made for some drama. And then for Suni, you know, they were saying on the broadcast, she basically had to have a near perfect floor routine, one of the best she's done since she came back from her illness, and she ended up delivering that, and it was a special moment because she had to fight back to be able to be there. And so yeah, it was really special. So now they have the individual event titles, and I think the United States again will be able to bring home several gold medals in that round as well.
I agree. 37 total medals for the United States. France is second at 27. And the U.S. did pick up 5 golds today. They're now at 9. China has the most at 11. But today was a good day. We had, in rowing, we picked up a gold medal. We picked up the gold medal from Simone Biles. So it was a good day for U.S. athletes over in Paris, as we're about ready to get to the first week of games. It's really gone fast for them. The women's basketball team got pushed a bit today. I watched some of that game with Belgium. It was a 13-point win, but it was I think about a 4-point game late in the third quarter. So the U.S. women got pushed. It was kind of nice to see them respond and get pushed and have to respond, and then they did. And so they're into the quarterfinals. They will play Japan over the weekend in the quarterfinals. But a lot of good stuff there. And Katie Ledecky just continues to just dominate some of the swimming races. Last night on the 1,500 chess, she won it by, I think, more than a full pool length. I mean, it was silly. They had to pull the cameras back so far to show the second place swimmer. And we talked on the program last night about the dominance that she has. She did it again last night.
And she won one today that ended up separating her, now she needs one more gold, I think, to separate. She's tied, I think, for golds, but she ended up getting, so spoiler alert if you're waiting till tonight to watch the coverage, but she was on the relay team. Australia ended up winning gold, which, you know, there's a rivalry there, but so she ends up getting the silver in the relay team. So she is now the most decorated U.S. women's athlete of all time, any sport. So yeah, we're watching greatness. And you know, I feel like too, we've talked a lot about Simone and Katie and some of the things that the women are doing, but these are things that maybe we thought, oh, that's never possible. And then, oh, well, will we ever see it again? And I think they're laying the foundation for it to be done again. But when we will, I don't know. But it's pretty remarkable what some of these women are able to do this time around. And Katie's not done yet. She's got a couple more. I think one of her other bread and butter races she's got coming up. So, you know me, I'm glued into the swimming. So I don't miss those. I watch all of those live and then try to go back. The other fun story that's been fun to follow is the beach volleyball, the duo that's from LSU. One of the girls actually played at Creighton and then transferred to LSU. She's from South Dakota, so that's a fun story. Yep. That match got delayed today because it was raining pretty hard and there was lightning in the stadium. So, and then the 3-on-3 has been disappointing, and that was one of my favorites last time around.
I know. I really enjoyed that. The U.S.'s men have not won. That volleyball, beach volleyball, they did come back and finish that match.
Oh,
the
they
U.S.
did.
did win that 15-12 in the third, so they beat that China team. So Knuth, I think is her name. She's played at Creighton for a couple years. That's a fun sport right at the base of the Eiffel Tower for that. Speaking of swimming and speaking of the future, two things. I do believe Katie Ledecky will compete in the LA Games. I do
Yes.
think she will go one more Olympics Games. And there's this superstar out of Canada. She's 17 years old. She's already won a couple of golds. The name escapes me right now, but she may be the next superstar.
McIntosh, right?
McIntosh, that's it. Yeah. She's really good.
Yeah, she is. And she's only 17, so we're only Summer McIntosh. We're only beginning to see. There's a lot of young swimmers that have really burst out onto the scene, but I think Katie will be able to come back. Now, will she carry as heavy of a workload? Probably not. I don't know. Maybe she will. Maybe she'll continue to be able to be at her best. But I think she is another one that is just so far ahead of everybody else, and a couple of those races that she could even lose a few seconds. And I mean, she's got like the top 20 times ever in the the 1500 meter. It's crazy. So yeah, I think for a lot of these athletes that for most of the time at this point would probably be saying, yeah, this is my last one, I'm going to enjoy it. But being for a lot of the American athletes, knowing that the next stop is back in America, and I think especially for the swimmers to see the French guy and how rocking it's been, and just knowing that, hey, I might get to experience that, because Michael Phelps has talked about that. As for as much as he did in his career, he never got to do it on home soil. And so I think for a lot of these athletes that are, hey, let me push it one more time to see if I can get back and do it on home turf, because you just don't, a lot of these athletes don't get a lot of those opportunities, and very, very few of them get them one time around, and very few of them ever get to do it on their home turf. So I think for a lot of them, they're very well probably eyeing, hey, 4 more years, I can make it.
Yeah. Still fun stuff was going on. Another full week of the games taking place over in Paris. All right, here's what we have on the program tonight. We're going to continue our position breakdowns, and this really ought to do it. Ed Foley tonight, special teams coordinator, is going to be here, break down the kickers, the punters, long snappers, the return game. Fascinating conversation with Ed. We'll have that coming up here in just a couple of minutes. Hour number 2, Jess had a chance to catch up with Tommi Hill the other day, the Husker defensive back who we're counting on to be a dominant lockdown corner for this defense here in 2024. So we'll have that. And Dusty Jonas, an assistant track and field coach, will be here to talk about the Huskers that are headed to Paris to compete on the track and field, including Till Steinforth, who just got called up for the Germans to compete in the decathlon, which starts tomorrow. So Till had to fly over to Paris this week. He got the call early this week. We'll hear the whole story from Dusty coming up in hour number 2.
Dusty also an Olympian, too. In 2008, he went to Beijing.
He was.
So we're getting the Olympics covered here on tonight's show, Greg.
Love it. Just love it. And we want your input as well, 402-413-2400. All right, when we come back, Ed Foley will join me. We'll talk special teams. That is next.
Hey, Husker fans, get ready to elevate your game with Ag Equipment by Claas. Featuring a wide range of tractors and harvesters, including the award-winning Lexion Combine, built right here in Nebraska. Claas Equipment isn't just made, it's made for more. Get more value, efficiency, and winning performance at your field this season with Claas. Visit your Claas dealer today or go to claas.com.
It's the Make It Ford Summer Sales Event at your Midwest Ford dealers. Get 0% financing or up to $4,250 bonus cash on F-150. Amazing offers and a great selection of the best-selling trucks in America for 47 years. Ford F-Series. These are the deals you've been waiting for, so don't wait. Make it Ford. Make it yours. Make it now. Get 0% financing for 36 months or up to $4,250 bonus cash on a new Ford F-150. Now, only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
It's the Make It Ford Summer Sales Event at your Midwest Ford dealers. Get 0% financing or up to $4,250 bonus cash on F-150. Amazing offers and a great selection of the best-selling trucks in America for 47 years. Ford F-Series. These are the deals you've been waiting for, so don't wait. Make it Ford. Make it yours. Make it now. Get 0% financing for 36 months or up to $4,250 bonus cash on a new Ford F-150. Now, only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
If you're driven by an adventurous heart, you're in luck. The 2024 Subaru Outback shares your spirit. It will take you as far as you want to explore with standard symmetrical all-wheel drive and up to 9.5 inches of ground clearance. Plus, 96% of Outback vehicles sold in the last 10 years are still on the road today. The 2024 Subaru Outback. Go where love takes you. Longevity based on Experian Automotive Vehicles in operations versus total new registrations for model years 2023 to 2022 as of December 2022.
Hurry up, dude. The game's about to start.
Nothing beats spending the day watching the game with your buddies.
Dude, I'm literally right here. Let's do this.
Which is why a shelter insurance renter's policy is key to your winning game plan. It protects things your landlord's policy doesn't.
Dude, where's your TV?
What? No way, dude.
Like that flat screen TV that just got stolen.
See shelter agents Jeff Bond or Reed Duvall in Lincoln, or Agent Victoria Watkins in Nebraska City.
On game day, every play counts. Now imagine having the same level of control in your field. Valley is where farming meets end zone efficiency. With AgSense remote irrigation technology, farmers become the MVPs of their fields. Real-time play-by-play control means you're always ahead of the game. Score big with simplified irrigation technology from Valley, improving your life both on and off the field. Find your local Valley dealer at valleyirrigation.com.
Woodhouse has been your premier destination for your automotive needs since 1975. Whether you're looking to purchase a new vehicle, sell your current one, or looking to service, our team ensures a convenient and seamless transaction from start to finish. Explore our wide selection of top brands and enjoy the peace of mind that comes with our team's dedication and decades of trusted service. Get started online at woodhouse.com and experience the Woodhouse difference today.
Welcome back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center. We're sponsored by Akrs, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs solutions for every field. We continue our position breakdowns tonight with a check of special teams. Delighted to be joined by special teams coordinator Ed Foley. 2 practices in. How's it been?
2 practices. We're working hard. The weather's cooperating because we like it hot.
Yeah.
So it's been hot, and it's been conditions that we've had to work through. We've gotten some wind, so we like to work through the wind conditions. We've gotten good reps. You know, we're working mostly with the units and the coverage units and trying to get through some drill work and identify some coverage guys and get some. We have some young players on the specialist unit, so we're trying to get them used to kind of the way we do things. But it's been very good for the first 2 days.
No pads yet. Correct?
No. We're all just helmets only. Just going through getting aligned and all that stuff. Not a lot of contact. Most of the stuff we're doing is on air.
Gotcha. How much do you want the kickers in the stadium and kicking?
As much as possible.
Really?
Yeah, and Coach Rule's great. He allows us to do that. Last year during the season, it was great because we were in there every Wednesday night.
Right.
So that was great. And then before we went in there on Wednesday nights, and even in some nights in addition to Wednesdays, he allows us to just leave the practice facility and go over there and get the kicks we need and just be back for whenever we need to be back for the other period. So there's a couple times last year where you saw us out there at the beginning of practice, and then we kind of went over and kicked over there. We kicked in the stadium all summer. So even while I was on vacation, I was getting the film twice a week of those guys kicking in the stadium and was able to. All we did was talk, Zoom, whatever, and say, hey, how'd you like what you did, whatever. So they got a bunch of kicks in the stadium going in. So the access to the stadium's great, and we want to get in there. It's a unique wind situation in there. It's not just that it's windy. Obviously, Nebraska's windy, but the stadium, has some challenges. Like if you look at the high flags and the low flags, there's a strategy and there's a way that some things move around in there that, as I've gotten adjusted to it, or we continue to get adjusted to it, it's really helpful.
Your unit made the news early in the week with the Tristan news that came out. Timing's everything, though, right? I mean, if this had happened last week, this would be a huge issue. But it happened early enough in the summer. It looks like he may be able to come back.
Yeah, this is something that we've been working with since May.
Yeah.
So we're lucky that it happened in May, to be honest with you. So I've been able to go out there and watch him kick, and I'm not allowed to do a lot of coaching with him, but I can go out there and watch him and see his progress and all that. He's progressing really well. So he's on track. He's kicking balls. He's not like in the ice tubs and all that. So it's just a matter to get him back to where, he can swing, really like, kickoffs and deep field goals and that kind of stuff, and he'll be there. He'll be there very shortly.
Well, Ed, without him right now on the 120, who's getting some reps?
Well, John Hull and Nico Automanelli are both getting reps, and that's the great, if something happens to somebody, it creates opportunities, for other guys. So we have two young guys that are out there working out and kicking and, getting to know them and evaluating all them, and they're competing and they're doing very well.
John, local kid, right?
Yep.
Southwest?
Yep.
And you had his older brother here.
Yes. Yep. We had older brother Jacob, and John came to camp. He came to camp with us, and he hit the ball really well at camp. So he like when he hit it, I was like, it kind of timed up where I knew there was some issues with Tristan, and I was like, this could be a good fit, based on the fact that he's a Lincoln kid. He's hitting the ball pretty well. Nico came to camp last year and did the same thing. So both of those guys back-to-back years, came to the Nebraska football camp in June and just kicked the ball really, really well. So I'm excited about both those guys.
Nico, an East Coast guy, right?
Yeah, the New Jersey guy, Old Japan. Yep.
How did you identify him, or did he pick us out? Give me that backstory.
He contacted me. When you get into it, you have develop relationships with the guys that are the kicking guys. So I have some kicking guys. A guy by the name of Krautman, Ricky Krautman, kicking back in New Jersey. Ricky's a guy that I've been connected to for years, and Ricky called me, told me about him, and I said, okay, great. I'd love to get a look at him. And he came out for the spring game last year, and then came out for the camp, and he won the competition. Like he I don't think he missed a kick, but he was lights out and kicked the ball off for us and did a really, really good job at camp last year. And I told him, I said, we got a guy right now that's a scholarship guy that's a freshman projected to be a guy that he's like, I don't care, I want to come to Nebraska and I want to compete. I love Nebraska, and so here we are. But fired up to have him.
It gives you real competition at that spot.
No question. Yeah, no question. And have John in the mix now, to have three guys that can kick the ball. The competition's always good. So that part of it's been good. It's been going on all summer. Tristan's been out of it, most of the time. So it adds to it even better. Tristan's there, watching it, and Tristan's great too. So Tristan is helping those guys out with what he sees, giving them immediate feedback. The room is great. The room is really good with mature guys that help each other, support each other, identifying things on film, identifying things live, talking, pushing each other, to do op times. They came out, one time I was watching them on film. We have a script that I give them, and they follow a script, throughout the summer, and I'm watching it from Cape May, New Jersey on my iPad, and I looked at one, they're like, well, we wanted to get some cardio work in, so we ran onto the field. So I see them, they're running onto the field and kicking to make it more realistic, and they did it for like 4 kicks in a row to increase their conditioning and to kick the ball, when they were under a little bit of duress. And they called me, and they said they wanted to do that, and I said, I thought that was a really good idea. So they're active with what we're doing and what we're trying to accomplish, but it's been a fun group to work with.
What a great story. Ed Foley with us, Husker special teams coordinator. Let's talk punting. Brian Buschini back.
Yep.
Need more consistency out of Brian, don't you?
Yeah, we do. And Brian has, it's not like there's a whole bunch of things that have to get fixed with Brian. Brian's does some things really good. And Brian is an absolute pro. Like, he is working on all of those things all the time. And Brian will say to me, and I'll say to Brian, okay, let's focus on the drop, the location of the drop, not turning the drop, making sure the drop. And then we have a couple of different drops that we use based on on the kicks. So we have a pooch, which is a nose drop. The nose goes down on the drop, and we kick the ball. And if you notice, if you remember Brian from like going inside the 50, he was excellent last year. So he drops that ball really well. So we're trying to make some conversions to how can we use that drop to be more consistent with some of the other big field drops that we're using, and he's working with that, and it's going well. Brian's a real pro, and he's making great strides, and he's gotten a lot better this offseason. I'm excited about what he's going to do this year.
Good.
Yeah.
You have a legacy guy.
Yes.
You're Camden Cook.
Yes. Yep. And
got him on a campus.
No doubt. And same thing. He came to camp. He came to our football camp last year with Nico. So it was him and Nico were the guys that kind of won the competition for the punting and the kicking at that camp. And Camden's a big athlete, big athletic kid, catches it, can drive it, but he has he's got the pedigree of those other things, like you talk about a pro in the approach, but we believe in locating the punt. Like you can have a guy out there that can kick the ball 50 yards down the middle of the field, but then you got to go cover it. So we want to put the ball in specific locations depending on where the ball is, where the field is, how much distance we have to travel, and he's really good. Like when he came to camp, he was almost like working with a college kid. Like I'm like, okay, kick the ball over there by those numbers, and the ball was over there. Kick the ball over to those numbers. Kick the ball, have it land on the 8-yard line. So he understands all that. I think obviously a lot of that is a part of being around the Baltimore Ravens and being around his dad and all that. But he's that kind of kid too. Like he comes to work every day, with a goal and trying to get better.
Ed, you lost your long snapper last year. That would really concern people. But I remember seeing you in January or February. You're like, we're good.
Yeah.
Camden Kentucky is really the real deal. Tell me about him.
No, he's really good, and he's had a year to work. I've had a year to work with him now. So, and I had every opportunity to say I didn't like him, right? So just
sure.
I would have done, probably done something. But he's the guy. There's no question. So he's really. Again, he's a guy that is working constantly. We're working on something every day. He'll come to me and say, what do you think about this, or what do you think about that? And sometimes I'm just like, you're good. Let's not overthink this now. You just get rip the ball back there today. He didn't have a great day today, but I'm not worried about it. He did a couple things today. We made some adjustments in some of the stuff on the field. He was great on the punt, but on the field goal today, and we're making some adjustments, and we're constantly looking at the things that we're doing, but. He's good. He's got good velocity. He's a good athlete. They love him in the weight room. So he's one of those guys. He doesn't say a whole lot, but he's a worker. Corey likes him. Everybody, the nutritionist, everybody that's worked with him, likes him. And he's gained good weight. The nutrition people have come up with a good plan for him. He's up to 230 pounds. He can run. He's tough as nails. I feel really good about him.
Brian going to be your holder?
Yeah, Brian's a really good holder. Yep, he's a really good holder.
Good. All right, I know it's early in camp, but give me some names that you're kind of looking at and having in mind in the return game, punt and kickoff.
Well, I mean, IGC in the punt game, that's an open competition.
Yeah.
He had a really good spring. I like him because he's you can see the theme here, right? He's mature. He's out there. He was out there every day in the offseason, just working on. And he's got some drills, and Ron Brown's working now that, we can have the coaches out there. Ron's now can coach him all the time. So Ron's out there coaching. He's out there before practice, after practice. Ron has him with towels and 2 balls and, trying to catch multiple balls and tracking the ball and ball security, keeping the hands high and all that stuff. So he's bought in. He's the one guy I think that but there's other guys, that have done it. Ja'Cory Barney had the nice kickoff return in the spring game, obviously. You had Ramir Johnson on the kickoff game last year against Minnesota. Before he got hurt, he was good. And then Emmett, Emmett Johnson has done some returning. Emmett's just another one of those guys, real even-keeled type of guy that can, he can do both. He can do punt and kickoff. So those are some guys right now that are probably standing out. But there's some other. We have some really good athletes on this team, and some other guys that are. Sierra Wright just started doing it, so he's not a guy that I really even knew about. So he's out there, just trying to do it. And there's some other guys that are doing it for the first time. Benning has done it. McMorris has done it. So we have some of the local guys are really good athletes. So there's a bunch of guys out there that are working on it. Without really doing anything with pads on and all that. I want to put some interference around them. So right now in the drill work, they look pretty good. And I'm saying this, what I'm saying to you is also information that I've had from watching them in the spring and the summer.
Right.
So there's a little bit of a body of work there. So I think we'll be okay there.
One of the challenges, and you and I have talked about this in the past, for you personally, is you have to be really fluid because of injuries at other positions, and some guys may get taken away from you because they got to go do this. You've got to be really fluid, don't you, on the special team side of things?
Yeah, right now I'm trying to be disciplined with myself, and Josh Martin does a great job helping me out. But so Josh and I are trying to really look at the next group of guys. Like, we know that John Bullock and Gifford and Buddha can go down there and do things for us. But with the usage they have on defense, and then again, like you're saying, with the possibility of an injury, we got to be ready for the next move. So
right.
I'm trying to focus on some younger guys and some guys that I don't know a lot about. So we haven't done a lot of limitation of repetitions because we're just going through some drills. But I can see us, saying like, how many kickoffs do I need to see John Bullock run down this camp and cover? I know what he's going to do. Like, he's going to go down 1,000 miles an hour. He's going to be really physical, and he's going to be in his lane. So now I want to see, can we develop, 15, 20, 25 guys that can help us out on the units and create a core bunch of guys that are going to go out there and do that. There's 80 guys on this team right now that'll run down on kickoff and go really hard. There's a lot, but now what you have to do now is like see who are the guys that are going to run down there smart. Like, I know you'll run down there fast, but like, are you going to run down there and like diagnose it and run and be able to adjust and get to the returner and those kind of things, recognize the scheme that's coming at you. So those are the things that are I call high speed decision making. Like, I know we got some guys that'll give great effort. Now who's going to be really good making decisions running full speed?
Yeah.
It's a big difference. Making a decision when you have some time to think about it, as opposed to when you're running full speed down the field.
Well, you're here. I got to talk a little baseball. Your Phillies are good.
Yeah, they're struggling right now, but they've been fun to watch all year. I got to the end. I was at the Dodger series in Philly, so I got to the end of when they were playing well.
Yeah.
Since then, they've really kind of gone into a slump. But I believe in them. I've been a fan through the lean years, so it's like. The fact that people were like, oh, they're supposed to be good, and they lost, I don't know what it is, they lost 10 out of the last 12. I said, I remember when they lost 100 out of the last 120 back in the early 80s. But like, it's good, it's all good, and we watch them all the time, and my son's watching. My son Luke watches them with me, my nephews, and all that. And we have a group text, and it's probably 80% about the Phillies right now.
Did you get to Omaha for any World Series games?
I did. I got to a World Series game. I went to the Big Ten championship game.
Yeah, that was fun.
So we were going to go to the Omaha Zoo, and my daughter. So I was going to take my daughter to the zoo, and she's a big baseball fan too. Like just by the fact that she's in our house. And I said, she goes, can we go to the game in the zoo? And they moved the game. If you remember, they moved the game to Sunday morning.
Yeah.
So I was like, I don't know if we can. And so we went to the game, and about halfway through the game, she's like, Dad, this is the best decision. We can always go to the zoo. This is awesome. Because, it was a great crowd. It was a great crowd.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a real tribute to the Nebraska fans to put to announce it at night, or whatever time at night they announced that game was going to be at 10, to have that crowd down there. And that crowd was on, like they were ready to go, and it was a great game. And so I started off there, and then went to the College World Series, and then went to a Yankees game, then went to a Phillies game. So I got 4 baseball games in this summer, and it was a good summer for that.
Summer of Ed, right there.
Summer of baseball, and and again, it's a family thing too. So it's
sure.
I love baseball, so it's probably projected to my children, but it's something that we do together. It's really fun to be able to do those kind of things with people in your family.
Great.
Yeah.
Appreciate the update. Have a good camp.
Yes, thank you. Appreciate you. Good to see you, Greg.
There he is, Husker Special Teams Coordinator Ed Foley, joining us on the program. Woodhouse Auto Family, your trusted auto partner, 20 brands, 20 convenient sales and service locations. We're making car buying on your terms. Visit us online at woodhouse.com. All right, 402-413-2400. What'd you hear? Anything pique your interest? Love to get it with a text or a phone call. Jessica will rejoin me next.
It's the Make It Ford Summer Sales Event at your Midwest Ford dealers. Get 0% financing or up to $4,250 bonus cash on F-150. Amazing offers and a great selection of the best-selling trucks in America for 47 years. Ford F-Series. These are the deals you've been waiting for. So don't wait. Make it Ford. Make it yours. Make it now. Get 0% financing for 36 months or up to $4,250 bonus cash on a new Ford F-150. Now, only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
Pickup truck, sports car, motorcycle, minivan, townhouse, two-story, farmhouse, fixer-upper. What you drive and where you live is different for everyone, so it's important to have insurance that fits your needs and is just right for you. At Shelter Insurance, we understand that, which is why our agents help you design a comprehensive auto, home, and life insurance plan. Insurance that fits just right.
See Shelter Agent Mike Shepard or Craig Kerr in Lincoln or Agent Jeff Martinez in Omaha today.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Dear Truckin' Awesome. Want more horsepower in the stable? The Tundra iForce Max is the most powerful Tundra ever. With its electrifying twin-turbo V6, you got everything you need. Saddle up the Tacoma TRD Pro. Its segment-first performance seats are designed to smooth out the shocks when the ride gets bumpy. The Toyota 4Runner is part mean streak, part wild side, and an all-around icon. Check out that signature power rear window, will ya? Yes, sir. Toyota trucks. Find yours at toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers. Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, Village Point Toyota of Omaha, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, or Baxter Toyota of Lincoln.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
If you're driven by an adventurous heart, you're in luck. The 2024 Subaru Outback shares your spirit. It will take you as far as you want to explore with standard symmetrical all-wheel drive and up to 9.5 inches of ground clearance. Plus, 96% of Outback vehicles sold in the last 10 years are still on the road today. The 2024 Subaru Outback. Go where love takes you. Longevity based on Experian automotive vehicles in operations versus total new registrations for model years 2023 to 2022 as of December 2022.
When you're in the stands and have the ability to control your irrigation in the field, it's a game-changing moment. Valley is where farming meets end zone efficiency. With AgSense remote irrigation technology, farmers become the MVPs of their fields. Experience real-time, play-by-play action and control that keeps you ahead. Score big with irrigation technology from Valley. It's technology that improves your life and lets you be at the game and in the game. Find your local Valley dealer at valleyirrigation.com.
Woodhouse has been your premier destination for your automotive needs since 1975. Whether you're looking to purchase a new vehicle, sell your current one, or looking to service, our team ensures a convenient and seamless transaction from start to finish. Explore our wide selection of top brands and enjoy the peace of mind that comes with our team's dedication and decades of trusted service. Get started online at woodhouse.com and experience the Woodhouse difference today.
Sports Highlight brought to you by Choices Treatment Center. If you or someone you know is struggling with problem gambling, free treatment is available in Nebraska. Call Choices 24-hour helpline at 402-476-2300 for more information. Offices in Lincoln and in Columbus. Welcome back, Sports Highlight. Here on a Thursday night, that wraps up our position breakdown. We kind of finished with Ed Foley, and fun guy to talk to, as we mentioned last night. And you know, you hope the news is good on Tristan in the next couple of weeks. We threw some other names out there. He's very optimistic that Brian Buschini is going to have a very good year. We need him to, and I think all Husker fans really want that return game to be cranked up a little bit. So I think the work is out there for Ed. He's got a group that he needs to get better.
Yeah, and you know, a lot of the people, we've talked about this a lot, like, oh, which position group are you watching the most? And a lot of times it goes to that defensive back position. But as I was listening to that interview, I was thinking, gosh, it's going to be intriguing to see who's going to be the guy that they run back there for both kickoff and punt return, because they've got some options back there, and who's going to give your team the best chance to make something happen, because it just can totally be such a game changer. And, you know, we talk a lot about the kicking, but I feel like too, and everybody will say this, that the return game needs to improve as well. So need to find some ways to make some electrifying moments. Who can be that guy? And so it sounds like he's got a few guys that are going to be in that competition. And I'd love to hear that IGC, Isaiah Garcia Castaneda, is that guy. You know, when we talked to Garrett McGuire, he just went on and on and on about how he's approached his rehab, and, you know, he's put on some weight. And I think he's a guy that's really appreciative just with everything that he went through, you know, walking away from football for a bit the year before, and then having the injury last year. I think he's got just a really unique perspective and just an appreciation for being able to play for this coaching staff and this program. And so I'm hoping for big things for IGC. You know, because the wide receiver room is so loaded with talent, if the opportunities are limited there, sounds like he's got a leg up on the return game. So I'm glad that he's catching some eye and going to get some opportunities, because I feel like he's just such a guy that deserves it.
I did a hit this morning on one of our affiliates, and they asked me, you know, what position group are you kind of really locked in for the fall camp? And I mentioned DBs because you and I have talked about it quite a bit. Then as I'm answering it, I go, well, now wait a minute. Now with the announcement on Tuesday that Tristan Alvano is hurt, I go, it's probably special teams because of the uncertainty with that. The return game needs to be better. I go, that's an area that this team's just got to get better in. And totally agree with you on IGC. I mean, he has gone through a lot in his career. You want the game to reward a guy like that.
Yeah.
With some good play here in his senior year.
Yeah, and, you know, and going back to the kicking situation too, sounds like that he's got a couple of guys that he feels really good about, that he's confident in. And even just saying, you know, with Nico, hey, we got a guy that is expected to be the guy. And he said, I don't care, I want to be at Nebraska. And, you know, he's sounds like a lot of them, the specialists are guys that have a deep pedigree in it and have done it for a long time and go about it as in a pro-like approach, but then are also approaching it as a unit, as a group, like we've seen from the quarterbacks, and just making sure that overall as a unit that they are the best that they can be. And, you know, I know Brian Buschini is a guy that a lot of those specialists, Tristan has talked about too, just that he's such a leader in that group and ensuring that they are carrying themselves in the same way that some of those other groups are, that they need to be just as tight of a unit as the defensive line and the offensive line and the defensive backs. That, you know, that's really important too. So I think that's neat too, because it can be such an isolating kind of on me type of position, but I feel like they're trying to go about it in the same way of, nope, we're part of the team. We got to do things like everybody else.
What a great name, right? Nico Ottomanelli. That's just a terrific name. And it also, he talked about both Nico and Camden Cook. They got at that camp they put on every June. This would have been a year ago, June. But, you know, we talk about camp season coming up, and I think that bores a lot of people. But that's become a big selling point for this program, getting guys in here, letting them show off in front of the coaches actually get eyeballs on young men and see what they look like. That camp has been pretty good to Nebraska football with this staff on board. And so, you know, and Matt Rowe totally gets that. He does not undersell it at all. He knows how big that camp is. But what a great name. Nico, that'd be a good name in Scrabble. Ottomanelli. You'd get a lot of points.
Husker Scrabble?
Yeah, Husker Scrabble.
Husker name Scrabble. We should invent that. Like there's Wordle and the connections with the New York Times. Greg, you should invent a online Scrabble game for Husker names.
That is a fabulous idea. We just stumbled onto something right here.
Cole, get Cole. Cole seems like an app designer.
Yeah, I think we got something here. All right, 402-413-2400. We're back to wrap up hour one next.
Woodhouse has been your premier destination for your automotive needs since 1975. Whether you're looking to purchase a new vehicle, sell your current one, or looking to service, our team ensures a convenient and seamless transaction from start to finish. Explore our wide selection of top brands and enjoy the peace of mind that comes with our team's dedication and decades of trusted service. Get started online at woodhouse.com and experience the Woodhouse difference today.
At Groundworks, we take great pride in helping our Nebraska neighbors keep their homes healthy. From repairing foundations to waterproofing basements to fixing crawl spaces or lifting concrete driveways. We'd like to think our customers choose us because of our attention to detail or the fact that we're the nation's leading foundation solutions provider. What gives our customers the most comfort is we're right here in Nebraska. Visit groundworks.com for a free estimate. Groundworks. Foundation solutions crafted with pride. The official foundation company of the Huskers.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
On game day, every play counts. Now imagine having the same level of control in your field. Valley is where farming meets end zone efficiency. With AgSense remote irrigation technology, farmers become the MVPs of their fields. Real-time, play-by-play control means you're always ahead of the game. Score big with simplified irrigation technology from Valley, improving your life both on and off the field. Find your local Valley dealer at valleyirrigation.com.
Not much can be counted on these days, especially getting timely rains. However, having a T&L irrigation system gives you water on demand. This is an insurance policy you pay for once and cash in time and time again. Perfect for all irrigators, T&L irrigation systems don't require complicated, expensive, and dangerous high-voltage electricity. They're driven continuously forward by hydrostatic drives. Take some uncertainty out of farming with an intuitive hydrostatic-powered T&L system. Visit TLIRR.com to learn more. T&L, like no other.
Our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Akrs, the Midwest's premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs solutions for every field. Well, you've been doing some digging on our Husker Scrabble game. You've come up with there are some really good ones on this team.
Yeah, so we have the Mazookas, because you get extra points for Z's. There's 2 Z's in that. What was the other one? Umam and Yellen, that's long.
Yeah.
And then... Jason
Did you say Teddy
Prohaska. What?
Did you say Teddy?
Yeah, Teddy Prohaska, because there's also a Z in that. Jason Machaychuk, right? Did I say that right?
Yep.
Machaychuk. Liebentritt, Lindenmeyer, both have long names. We're looking for the Z's, so I think we got all the Z's in there. So Ingwerson, Eric Ingwerson would be a good one, too.
Sure, got a W. Those are pretty high point values.
So I think we're on to something. We need to maybe go through some of the other sports and see if we can find any longer, but I think those would be the longest scoring.
What about the Fred's new basketball player from, is it the Netherlands? Berke?
You going to give a shot at trying to...
Nope. I'm stopping with Berke. I've got his first name down. Berke is his first name. I got that.
Do you get extra? There's a Y, 2 U's, K, T-U-N-C-E-L.
Oh, that'd be huge. That would be a huge Scrabble thing. I think we're really... This thing would be a bestseller. This would be under every Husker fan's Christmas tree if we came out with a Husker Scrabble game.
Well, you know that Toby Rowland at OU, play-by-play there, wrote a kid's book, and he just came out with a second edition that's Boomer and Sooner, and Boomer Sooner makes a trek to the SEC or something like that. So, Greg, I feel like you got to make a Scrabble game. You should invent a Scrabble game, and then, yes, we could get it into production and out by Christmas.
I'm loving this idea. This is fantastic, and it just came spur. We had not talked about this at all, folks. We did not pre-plan this. This is spur of the moment, top of the mind. This is great.
I guess you could just do regular Scrabble and just use the Scrabble, but we need to get some commission on this, so we need to maybe design we need to get with Lana and design a Husker, make it decorated with Husker logos and stuff, and then go from there.
Put Huskers on maybe even on the little what do they call them? Little chips or whatever those things are, little tiles. Yeah, put a little logo on that. That's wonderful.
Did you play a bunch of Scrabble in your lifetime?
I did. Love Scrabble. Yeah, used to play it every holiday. We'd pull it out and play and have a lot of fun with it. It's good stuff. Well, we're into August, folks. We're into the Olympic Games. We're going to talk about all the Husker track and field athletes, including Till Steinforth, who gets a late phone call to go represent Germany in the decathlon. Dusty Jonas, Husker assistant track and field coach, going to join us in hour number 2. And we're going to talk to Tommi Hill, get his take about camp getting underway and his final year of college football. All that coming up in hour 2. Come on back.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Woodhouse has been your premier destination for your automotive needs since 1975. Whether you're looking to purchase a new vehicle, sell your current one, or looking to service, our team ensures a convenient and seamless transaction from start to finish. Explore our wide selection of top brands and enjoy the peace of mind that comes with our team's dedication and decades of trusted service. Get started online at woodhouse.com and experience the Woodhouse difference today.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
At Groundworks, we take great pride in helping our Nebraska neighbors keep their homes healthy. From repairing foundations to waterproofing basements to fixing crawl spaces or lifting concrete driveways. We'd like to think our customers choose us because of our attention to detail or the fact that we're the nation's leading foundation solutions provider. What gives our customers the most comfort is we're right here in Nebraska. Visit groundworks.com for a free estimate. Groundworks, foundation solutions crafted with pride. The official foundation company of the Huskers.
Hey, Mom. Yeah, I got in a crash. I'm okay. I was wearing my seatbelt.
People count on you to buckle up. Brought to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Good evening, I'm Camden Cohn, and our sports ticker is brought to you by the Nebraska Department of Health and Human Services. Earlier today, the Big Ten Conference released the preseason All-Big Ten volleyball team. 5 Huskers were named to the 18-player team, including Merritt Beeson, Lexi Rodriguez, Harper Murray, Taylor Landfair, and Bergen Riley. Beeson and Rodriguez reached unanimous selections. Nebraska's 5 members more than any other team in the league. NU was also picked to finish first in the now 18-team Big Ten as they received 13 first-place votes. Husker football defensive back Isaac Gifford was named to the 2024 All-State Werfel Trophy watch list today. The Werfel Trophy highlights athletic and community service accomplishments. Plenty of Olympic news and notes for today. Let's start with the women's gymnastics all-around. Simone Biles won the gold and Suni Lee won the bronze to add to the United States medal count. The U.S. women's basketball team defeated Belgium 87-74 thanks to 26 points from Brianna Stewart. Asia Wilson added 23 points and 13 rebounds. And finally, Katie Ledecky added another medal to her name today in the women's 4x200 freestyle relay. The U.S. earned silver, and Ledecky earned her 13th Olympic medal, the most ever by an American female Olympian, regardless of sport. Our sports ticker is brought to you by the Nebraska Department of Health and Human Services. Call a timeout. If you or someone you know is struggling or in a crisis, the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is there. Call, text, or chat 988. It's free, confidential, and staffed with trained counselors ready to listen and provide support. Hour 2 of Sports Nightly is up next, right here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who remind you to buckle up and put the phone down.
Heinrich gonna step in back, little G belly action. As a man wide open, it's Jalen Lloyd. The throw, he makes a catch. 30, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Nebraska.
Nebraska's serving specialist Kennedy sends it over Vasquez Gomez. Perfect pass, set it up. Fairbanks diving, take Laney Choboy. Bumps it left Nebraska. Harper and nearly drops. Free ball back. Oh, a block back by Becca, and that nearly drops. And a free ball finally over, block back by Becca, and it does. Becca Alec, she's putting on a blocking clinic. They can't get it over.
Bryce Williams puts his head down, cut off by good defense by Mbako. Now up top it comes to Mast. Mast dribbles once, gives it back to Williams, shoots a 3 on the way. Got it again! Another 3! Williams on fire!
Jazz Shelley, who has electrified this crowd. She'll take a 28-footer, you betcha! Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? She ends the first quarter in triple style.
Ball's and a strike here on Gabe Swanson, the pitch. Hit pretty well towards left center field. Going back on it is Graves. Graves at the wall, and it's gone again! Swanson's gone deep again! Gabe with his second solo shot of the game.
Billy swings and crushes this one to the moon. Left center and gone. No doubt on that one. 3-1 Nebraska.
Here are your hosts, Greg Sharpe and Jessica Coody on the Huskers Radio Network.
We're back, hour number 2 of our Thursday show here on Sports On. I'm going to hear from Tommi Hill coming up here in a few minutes. And then later in the hour, Dusty Jonas, assistant track and field coach, former terrific high jumper in his own right, will join Jessica. We'll talk about the Olympics track and field, which gets going tomorrow. The decathlon gets going until Steinfort, the Husker great, is going to compete for Germany. Got a phone call just a couple of days ago that he was an alternate for the German team, and he gets the late call, and he was in Lincoln working out, so he had to fly from here to Paris to get ready to compete tomorrow. That'll be fun to follow his progress tomorrow during the day. Getting a lot of reaction to our Scrabble topic at the end of last hour. Carla says, I'm all in on Husker Scrabble, would be one of the first to purchase it. Way to go, you two. So there we go. All right.
We said we were talking during the break, we need to like copyright or trademark this idea.
A little Husker version of Scrabble.
Yes.
Love it.
Or like maybe an app. I don't know. Maybe we can make a Husker Scrabble app.
I like that. And that's where Cole could come into play.
Yes. Yeah. Because I think there's a Scrabble app. I used to play it all the time. But, then you could tailor it to Husker Scrabble and then have them keep track of the names and who comes up with the best names, who has the most score. I don't know. Because then you can maybe track a bunch of different Husker fans that are playing the Scrabble game. I never was a big Scrabble player, so.
No?
No. No.
Gotta be creative with all that.
Yeah. It's also a little bit the luck of the draw of your chips.
Oh, true.
I used to always never draw enough vowels.
Crypto King says for the Scrabble game, the wild pieces, you have to put Coach Osborne's face on it. LOL. Yeah, you could get really creative. You could put a lot of different people on that. You could have different wild pieces. You could put maybe the Heisman Trophy winners. You could put some Olympians that Nebraska's had on that. You could just have a lot of fun with this to kind of make it a Nebraska Cornhusker game. So,
look at
all
us.
Right, we got to get back to the show. We're getting kind of off base here a little bit. Tommi Hill last year was really developing as a player for the Cornhuskers. Now that he's settled in on defense, remember his first year here, he kind of flipped back and forth from defense to playing some wide receiver and doing some of those things. A lot expected out of Tommi this year to be that lockdown corner that Quentin Newsome was last year. Jessica earlier in the week had a chance to catch up with Tommi.
How do you feel going into this season and this fall camp, personally, just physically overall?
Just being more of a leader this year. Just focusing on the team more, trying to be better as a player, too.
You put on some weight. Tell us about that, and what was that goal?
Miss Chrissy picked me at 205. I was at 2010, so she helped me get down at 205, so I'm ready to turn it up now.
Why was that important for you? Why did you feel like that was going to be a better playing weight?
Because I'm going to have to guard everybody, the best receivers if it's a tight end, so I'm going to have to go against a body, so I had to put on weight so I can be more secure with me.
How does it feel going into this year? No Quentin Newsome, Omar Brown's gone, and you're getting a lot of talk as being one of those leaders in that defensive back room. How has that changed for you? How exciting is that for you to take on that role?
It's exciting just watching Omar Brown and Quentin Newsome be leaders and just learning from their perspective of becoming a better leader. So it helped me a lot to become a leader.
A lot of these coaches are talking about you're one of the best defensive backs, not just in the Big Ten, but even in the country. How have you gone about getting yourself to that, where you can be one of those guys that they rely on back there in the secondary?
Just listening to the coaches, being coachable more, being more responsible, and just learning to become a better man. So it just helped me a lot.
How much you take pride in that? Hey, I want to be one of those guys that they rely on me to lock down those best receivers like you're talking about.
It became a blessing. I dreamed about this, going against the best, because I feel like I'm the best. So everybody going to feel like they're the best. So it just feel like a lot of weight on my shoulders, and I can succeed with that.
How ready are you for that, for the weight on your shoulders?
Oh, I'm ready. Yeah.
Coach Butler, I know it's a change over the summer. How have you getting to know him, and what has he brought to the group?
He brought a lot about the NFL perspective, just learning about his son, bringing his son in. So just know we family now. So missing Coach Coop though, but I got to move on and hope for my dreams to come true.
With Coach Butler and his experience in the NFL and coaching some of those great defensive backs up there at Buffalo, how exciting is that for you guys in the room, knowing that, hey, he's coached where I want to be eventually, right?
Yeah, right. Just bringing him in, just learning more about NFL and what he expects from NFL players, so it helped me become a better man.
So tell us overall about the group. There's a lot of guys in the defensive backs room, but a lot of talent. How are you guys going into this fall camp with a lot of competition, right, going to be had?
Right. It's always going to be competition coming under Coach Roof, so the better player wins, so everybody going to be playing at their full potential, try to compete at every level, tackling, covering, playbook, reading, things like that perspective.
How excited are you about some of the young defensive backs that are coming in?
Oh, I'm excited. So I just know they can play. Watching spring with them, learning how they play, how they look at the plays, and helping them succeed.
One thing we hear about you over and over again is how competitive you are. And you are out there on the field, you want to compete, you want to be against the best. What wires you that way?
Just what I grew up with, just always trying to compete with my brothers and sisters of who can make the best sandwich or who can play the game better in Madden. So I always grew up with that.
So who does make the best sandwich?
I'll say my sister.
Speaking of the competing and going up against this wide receiver group in the spring, it seems like there's a lot of talent on that side of the ball too. How excited are you about the playmakers on the offensive side that you match up against every day in practice, but what they can provide to this football team?
Just having Dylan, who can really throw the ball, have to really switch my head around. Having Isaiah, Jamal, Jay Lloyd, I can name them all. So it just making me better as a player and making them better as a player too.
How are you approaching this fall camp? What are your goals that you want to get accomplished over these next few weeks?
Just trying to help the defense be better as a secondary. Trying to lead as example with Isaac Gifford, Marquise Buford, and Deshaun Singleton. Just bringing all of us in and just compete at a high level.
Heard a lot about turnovers, not only taking care of the football but taking it away. How do you guys go about that? Being better in that, and getting those turnovers for this team. What role do you play in that?
Coach White always try to say, don't matter what the score is, we always got to try to get the ball away. With fumbles on the D-line, with fumbles in the secondary, fumbles at the linebackers. Just try to get the ball back to the offense so they can make plays.
All right, how do you guys raise the standard going into this year after a great start with Tony White last season? How do you guys be better this year?
Just like last year, always become 1% better. As anything, as a receiver, as a corner, as a lineman, as a running back, linebacker, just become 1% better. Focus on the next play.
Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Greg, for as much as hype as he's getting going into this season, I know that he's earned it, but he hasn't had the opportunity to be that guy yet, right? There's always been a Quentin Newsome or another of those guys on the field. So I'm excited to see how he does embrace that role. He seems ready for it. The coaching staff have just raved about him and that he's ready for it, but I can't wait to see it come into action and what kind of steps he does make and how he does really embrace that role of being that guy out there for this defense.
Yeah, you hope that he does. He takes that next step and he becomes an all-conference type player because he has that ability. I mean, athletically, there's maybe not a better guy on the team than Tommi Hill. So now translate that into making plays on defense. I want some pick sixes out of this defense. I want the DBs jumping a route, picking one off and taking it back. And Matt Rule kind of alluded to that earlier in the week that, hey, our defense, you want to make a big impact, go score.
Yeah.
Go pick up an interception, scoop and score, pick up a fumble and take it back to the house. That's how you make a huge impact. And Tommi Hill can be that kind of a guy for this team. And there's others. I mean, Isaac can do it. I think Buford can do it. Don't know about the other side yet on the other corner. That'll play itself out. But I think this defense can go make those kind of plays. And Tommi Hill might be right at the top of that list.
And wasn't Tommi, you have to refresh my memory, but didn't he have some opportunities that, he was in great position, made a great play on the ball, but didn't just come down with it? Wasn't there like a couple of those plays with Tommi where it's like, oh, you can just see like he has the ability to really make those kinds of plays. He just didn't finish it. And I that was him, right?
Yeah, it was.
So I remember those conversations on the sideline about, talking to him through that about, hey, okay, now go make that play. It was an incredible play. You did everything right. Now you just gotta finish it. And so that's another step I know that he's looking to take. This coaching staff wants him to take, but he certainly has ability. We saw flashes. We have certainly seen flashes of it. There's no doubt.
Quentin had bad hands, and he dropped a number of what could have been interceptions for him. And I mean, people used to kid him. They go, well, now I know why you're a DB, not a wide receiver. You can't hold on to the football. But when that opponent makes that kind of mistake, you've got to make them pay for it. And I think that's the next step for this defense. It's to score a few times this season, and I think it's going to happen. I think we've got the guys up front to get the pass rush. I think we can create havoc in the backfield. What did we hit like Shedeur Sanders like 10 times last year.
So many times. So many
times.
Yeah.
When you do that, you're going to force that quarterback to make mistakes. And I think that pressure will be there from that front seven with Tony White's defense.
Yeah, absolutely. And, It just is an ongoing theme, and we've said this a lot about a lot of the messaging is the same. That, you know, I talked to more of the players, and a lot of the players are saying the same thing that their position coaches are saying, which starts from the top with Matt Roll. But, you know, even from the defensive line to the linebackers to the secondary, a lot of it is the same messaging, the same goals, and so you can tell they're really motivated by it. And yes, we had a good season last year, but there were a lot of areas that we need to be better at. They are by no means saying, oh, we were just where we need to be. They by no means think that. And so I think for a lot of them, they're pretty hungry to take that ball away and to make an impact in that regard.
Good stuff. Good to hear from Tommi right there. All right, folks, we'll take a break. When we come back, Dusty Jonas, assistant track and field coach, will be with us. We got a track and field about ready to launch at the Olympics in Paris. We'll get a rundown of the Huskers coming up next.
Attention! If you owe money to the IRS, this is an urgent message. The IRS is cracking down by sending out heart-stopping letters, aggressively garnishing paychecks, seizing bank accounts, and putting liens on homes and businesses. They call it enforced compliance, and you better watch out because penalties and interest on unpaid taxes compound daily, making it seem impossible to ever get out of debt. Don't let the tax debt destroy your life. You need to call Optima Tax Relief, the #1 tax resolution firm. They're experts in the Fresh Start Initiative, one of the biggest breaks that the IRS has ever offered. If you qualify, you could save thousands. Optima's resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, they'll fight to get you the best deal possible. Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-783-8055. That's 800-783-8055. 800-783-8055.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Other irrigation companies are finally discovering what T&L Irrigation is known for decades. Continuous movement is the best way to irrigate. While they'll have you pay for complicated upgrades to get steady, even water application with their high-voltage electric systems, all T&L Irrigation pivots and linears are propelled safely and smoothly by powerful hydrostatic drive. Continuous movement isn't new. It's the T&L standard. Don't get talked into a reinvented wheel. Pick the proven original. Call your T&L Irrigation dealer today or visit TLIRR.com. T&L, like no other.
If you're driven by an adventurous heart, you're in luck. The 2024 Subaru Outback shares your spirit. It will take you as far as you want to explore with standard symmetrical all-wheel drive and up to 9.5 inches of ground clearance. Plus, 96% of Outback vehicles sold in the last 10 years are still on the road today. The 2024 Subaru Outback. Go where love takes you. Longevity based on Experian automotive vehicles in operations versus total new registrations for model years 2023 to 2022 as of December 2022.
At Groundworks, we take great pride in helping our Nebraska neighbors keep their homes healthy. From repairing foundations to waterproofing basements to fixing crawl spaces or lifting concrete driveways. We'd like to think our customers choose us because of our attention to detail or the fact that we're the nation's leading foundation solutions provider. What gives our customers the most comfort is we're right here in Nebraska. Visit groundworks.com for a free estimate. Groundworks. Foundation solutions crafted with pride. The official foundation company of the Huskers.
Greatness doesn't happen overnight. It takes time, focus, and dedication. At Shelter Insurance, we understand that because we put in the hard work and dedication for decades. And that commitment is paid off with award-winning customer service for your auto, home, and life insurance.
See Agent Matt Moorhead or Joanne Shamanek in Lincoln or Scott Jeffers in McCook today.
Woodhouse has been your premier destination for your automotive needs since 1975. Whether you're looking to purchase a new vehicle, sell your current one, or looking to service, our team ensures a convenient and seamless transaction from start to finish. Explore our wide selection of top brands and enjoy the peace of mind that comes with our team's dedication and decades of trusted service. Get started online at woodhouse.com and experience the Woodhouse difference today.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org Get your life back with chiropractic.
Welcome back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, which is sponsored by Akrs, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs, solutions for every field. Welcome back to Sports Nightly. I'm Jessica Coody, and the Olympics are in full swing. We've been talking a ton about it here on the show over the last week or so. Huskers well represented there in Paris with lots of track and field representation there. We found out this week that Till Steinforth will also be competing there, as he was an alternate and now will be competing for Team Germany in the decathlon. So to talk about all of that is Dusty Jonas, assistant coach here with Nebraska Track and Field. He coaches the high jump, the high jumpers, and the multi-event. So he's Till's coach and a fellow Olympian as well. Thank you so much for being here with us.
Thanks for having me.
Well, exciting times. You competed yourself in the 2008 Olympics. Are you a fan of watching all the other sports? Have you been all into the Olympics?
So far, it's been mainly men's basketball.
Yeah.
My wife and I got into the women's gym. I don't think anybody knows this, but I'm a really big women's rugby sevens fan. So yeah, I've always really enjoyed New Zealand, but I was really rooting for the U.S. and they got a medal this time, so that was really cool too.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, for those of us who will have no idea what it's like, what is it like to be an Olympian, to represent your country on this stage?
Oh man, it was a long time ago for me. Gosh, what was that, 16 years ago or something like that? No, it's a lot to take in, especially at a young age, which, I had just turned 22, and I think Till's also 22. So there's a lot coming at you, and there's a lot of things, they're not distractions, but they're just a lot of things. You're seeing people in different sports from all over the world that are just impressive. It's like, me as like a 6'5" guy, when I was there, I'm walking to get dinner, and the women's, I think, Australian basketball team they were huge. They're like 6'8", 6'10", and I feel like a child. And I'm like, wow, these are real athletes. But no, it is easy to get kind of lost in watching or just being so stressed out that you don't kind of soak it in. So that's something that Till and I talked about was, you've got an opportunity, you've got nothing to lose. Take a minute to kind of take a deep breath, soak it all in so it's something you remember, because I think I've said before, you make an Olympic team, you're not guaranteed another one.
Right.
So, it could be a one and done thing. It could be he's there 2 or 3 more times, who knows. But that's kind of what my experience was like. I got freaked out, and just there was so much coming at me in China, and I remember a lot of it, but a lot of the things are kind of a blur.
We've talked a ton about Till Steinforth over the last couple of years. Man, what an incredible athlete he's been here for Nebraska, competing multiple-time All-American. He won the high jump in the Big Ten just with one jump. So decorated already. He goes into it as an alternate for the Germany team. Take us through, what was it like when you found out and how it all unfolded for you guys?
So this summer, we had plans to do a multi-event in Rottingen, Germany. It's a really big, well-to-do decathlon. It's only multi-events for that track meet. And so we've been training and talking, and probably talking every day or every other day, sending videos back and forth, writing workouts. How do you feel? Where are you going to be? Because he's kind of going over here because they have pole vault poles, or over here because there's a coach over there. So it was a lot of moving parts for that. He did compete in Rottingen and did really, really well. He won, as a matter of fact, and beat a lot of people that had better scores than him coming in, and really, really did a phenomenal job there. PR'd in several events. So that put him in a good position, with the national coach being there and seeing all that. But with the system, with the IAAF, or now the World Athletics have, you have points, you have things like that. So on those points, he was ranked in the top 24, which they take the top 24, but he was, the 4th German. So they can only take 3. So he was kind of on the outside looking in, but he was named officially as an alternate in case something happened to any of the other guys, which on Tuesday it did. Unfortunately, their national team coach and another gentleman, a young athlete of theirs, got sick, got COVID, and they called Till up on Tuesday and said, hey, you're going. And it's been a whirlwind since then.
What was that phone call like when he calls you?
Honestly, if I'm being really honest, I could make something up, but here's how it went. So my phone rings. My phone rings at like 10 till 6, and normally he calls me on a messaging app like WhatsApp or Instagram, whatever it is, and it's his normal phone. I was like, oh, he must have pocket dialed me or something like that. I was like, well, I'm up. I might as well get up. So I'm down, making a cup of coffee, and Coach St. Clair calls me. I was like, okay, what's going on? And in the back of my head, I'm thinking, no way. This is like the last day they could name somebody. And he goes, well, you got yourself an Olympian.
Wow.
And I was like, no kidding. He was like, yeah, and he told me congrats. And I was like, I should probably call Till back, huh? It was really cool. He was very excited. And again, it was just a lot coming at him.
Yeah.
So I think just being able to talk him through some things was good. And it was, boom, I got to go to practice, and then I got to get on a plane and go to Paris. And so that's what he did. So
Before we dive into just what he needs to do over the next few days, you heard me saying just all the things that he's been able to do so far competing for Nebraska. How special of an athlete is he? What sets him apart?
Oh, man. Well, yeah, he's the best we've ever had. And not by a small amount. He's in the decathlon, heads and shoulders above anybody we've had in the past. I think something that sets him apart is the engine he has. There's no quit in him, whether it's in the classroom, because he's a very good architecture student with a great GPA and dedicates himself to that, but also, annoying though it might be sometimes, we're always adjusting to his schedule just to make sure that, okay, he can do his classwork and practice and get a really good practice in. But he's got no quit in him. And, just like at Indoor Nationals this year, he qualified in the long jump, right? And so he's an All-American in the deck. Didn't have the best deck in his eyes, but I was like, look, I know you got day 2, but how cool would it be to walk away with 2 trophies? He takes one jump and sits down, and I think he got 6th or 7th in the long jump. So he comes away a 2-time All-American from one track meet. I haven't been around many of those people, and anybody I have has been at the level that he's at right now.
Wow. We were joking before. You said, I don't really set limits for him because you might say, oh, he could do this and then he'll be better than that. It's just there's no really limits to him.
Yeah, no, there's always going to be a surprise, sometimes good, mostly good, sometimes bad. But there's always, in the decathlon, you have 10 events that you have to get up for, relax from, know your strengths, know your weaknesses, know where you have to be a little bit more careful, especially like an event like the pole vault, there's the wind bad or something like that. But also if you have a great performance, to come back down where you need to be, or if you have a bad performance, not let it affect you too much. So I think, with something like that, that's where I think he shines, is, being able to just get back into it and say, okay, I can come back from this.
Visiting with Dusty Jonas of Nebraska Track and Field. For someone like that you are training for a lot of different events, and you just talked about that, but he's been training right up until, so he's ready to go. It's not like, oh, surprise, I'm not ready. So he's been staying ready for this, but how do you go about even training for a decathlon and being at your best at so many different events?
Oh, man, that...
how do you balance it all?
Some weeks you do, some weeks you don't. Some weeks you have to focus, whether it's with him, in the summertime where it was just him, or sometimes when you're in the middle of the season where you look at, okay, what's the group shifting towards, or what are their strengths and weaknesses? And I think as a coach, you're going to kind of bring people in with the kind of strengths that you're looking for and the weaknesses that you can help improve. But I guess to train for a decathlon, you have to be a little bit good at everything. As a coach, I'm more of a kind of a speed power guy, but you also have to be a technical person as well. So those are where I do really well. And then, of course, we've got a really good staff. Coach St. Clair has taught me a lot in the throws. Ryan and Whack in the distance. So I've been growing as a coach to help them get better, and I think that's something that our staff has done really well too. Just not just with him, but just in the development of the whole team. It's everybody will ask a question or try and get better from everybody else, and so I think that's part of how you get better at a decathlon. You can't be afraid to fail. You have to go out and try it and do things you're good at and maybe do some things you're not that good at and just keep rocking.
Yeah, that's great. Well, so going into it now, he's competing, right? He's on Team Germany and has a chance to compete at the Olympics. How does he go into it? What are the expectations? What are you looking for him to be able to do to go be at his best?
I think if he keeps doing what he's been doing, he should be just fine. I don't think the moment's too big for him. I think he's going to eat it up. I hope that he goes out, and we've talked about this, just really sends it. You know, you got to say, it's like, you got to go full berries, man. Let's go. Like, bring the sauce. And I think he's going to. And again, he's going to really send it in a few events and be a little bit more conservative in a few where he can afford to be. But I think really just to have a consistent, solid deck is going to be good for him. So again, I don't know what the expectations are. I expect him to finish, and we'll see where all the chips are when he does.
So he begins competing at 3 a.m. our time, so overnight. How are you going to go about, are you going to get a nap in, you're going to coach through the night, and then how are you going to go about making sure that you're staying up to date and sending him pointers there in Paris?
Yeah, so considering their national team coach is not able to be there because he got COVID, the other fellow there, I believe, is going to be sending me some videos. Of course, you've got your trusty Peacock that I'll be watching. So yeah, it's going to be an early morning. Probably sending some pointers to the coach, you know, maybe some things that I see. Hopefully it goes through in time. But yeah, it's going to be a long couple days of coaching from the basement.
How exciting is it for you, though? You have an Olympian.
It's really cool. He's my second one. I was hoping I could get another one day, but it is really neat. I think he deserves to be there, but I think as a coach anyway, whether you have an Olympian or you don't, you just always want to see them get to the top of where they're supposed to be. You know, like what's that genetic potential? And if I can have a small part to play in getting them there, helping them get there, then whether they're an Olympian or a conference team member or a conference scorer, whatever that is, then I feel pretty good about it. So I don't really look at it as I've got an Olympian, I've got a till that just so happened to get to the Olympics.
I love that, yeah.
Yeah.
Can you give us your perspective on, you brought up Justin St. Clair gave you a call, and he's got a number of throwers and competitors that have been on the stage this year, but in the past as well. A lot of the best want to train with him. But can you give us a perspective of just how well respected he is on the world level as a throws coach?
I personally, I'm clearly biased. I don't think there's anybody better. He would disagree, but he's not here. So, but no, he's an excellent throws coach, and he's an excellent head coach, and he does a really good job with his athletes. I think that he is very well respected. You know, just seeing who's come back to Nebraska or to Nebraska to train here, you know, with or around him, because we have had a lot of success in there. And I think that's part of building a great program is what kind of people want to be around your program. So that, I think, is says a lot about him and who he is and what he's done so far as a head coach.
When you have multiple Olympians in 1 year, what does that do for recruiting?
I would have to say it helps. No, I think it does help. I think, again, more success breeds success. And the more success you have as a program, the more people want to be a part of it. And I think in our sport, it is a really individualized sport because you've got to go out there and you have to perform, you know, unless you're maybe on a relay where you have other teammates around. But, you know, to be able to go out and, you know, win the men's, you know, outdoor championship 2 years in a row and get really close with the women, you know, 2 years in a row, you know, it's everything's heading upwards, especially in a conference that we're about to be in with, 18, 19 teams. It's not getting any easier. So the fact that we're on the up and up, the fact that we have had some success, and the fact that people want to be a part of this program, I think, again, says a lot about him and, yeah, and our staff. But, I would assume it helps in recruiting.
That's great. You know, we've talked to Troy Dan, and he's made it clear that the facilities over there at Track and Field, huge priority. What does that mean to you guys on the staff, this program, that you have an AD that wants to get behind and give you guys what you need to be successful over there?
I'm actually ecstatic about it. I don't know that anybody before didn't want to get it done, but I'm very appreciative that, you know, he's come out in public and said, hey, this is a priority, because I don't know that anybody else has done that before. So I know that's something I'm super appreciative of. You know, we haven't had a home track meet since 2019, or been able to train on a home track or with the stands since 2020. So I think the fact that that's moving forward and that we have really good administration, you know, really working on that, like probably as we speak, that says a lot, I think, about Troy and his administration around him.
You just alluded to this, but the momentum, it seems like there's a ton of it, especially around this track and field program. You guys go back-to-back with the men and in the outdoor Big Ten title, and, you know, just the recruiting and just, again, just so much momentum. And it's with your program, it's with a number of programs here on Nebraska. But how much can you guys feel that and feel the momentum and building?
I've been here for, in exactly 19 days, 20 years.
Wow.
And, you know, things have kind of gone in waves, you know, whether it was football being really good or volleyball or track and field or whatever sport that it was. But I don't know that in 20 years I've felt the way that I feel now, whether it was an ex-athlete or a current coach or anything like that, where you can really feel the momentum of the like department moving in a direction. And I think that's really cool. The fact that we had, you say, 5 teams this year win conference championships and, you know, really start to show improvement in a lot of other areas too, has been something, again, that it's really cool to be a part of, and I'm certainly thankful to have been here that long. Hope I can be here another 20 years. So, yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Dusty Jonas, thank you so much for your time. Best of luck. Get some rest. You ready to go? You nervous at all?
I'm not nervous because I'm nervous for him, but there's not a whole lot I can do about it from here. So I think he's ready to go, and his head's in a good spot. So I'm excited more than nervous, anxious a little bit, but I think he'll be ready to go.
Again, Huskers well represented in the track and field over there in Paris, and Till Steinforth gets us started in the decathlon coming up. 3:05 Central Time. Get your Peacock if you don't already, so you can watch Till over the next few days compete in the decathlon for Team Germany. Thank you so much for being here and for giving us your excellent perspective.
Thanks for having me.
And that is Dusty Jonas with Nebraska Track and Field. We got to step aside for a break here on Sports Nightly. Woodhouse Auto Family is your trusted auto partner with 20 brands and 20 convenient sales and service locations. We're making car buying on your terms. Visit us online at woodhouse.com.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. Go ahead, feel your engine. Admire that perfectly installed exhaust. Your vehicle's moving along this freeway like it was made from fresh installs and a whole lot of love. With eBay Motors, you get over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
When you switch and save with Progressive, you can use that money towards going to see your favorite team in the playoffs. Progressive cannot guarantee that you can go see your favorite team in the playoffs. Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds on average, but we cannot guarantee that your favorite team will make the playoffs or even finish with a winning record. They could easily lose more than half their games and finish in the cellar because they stink badly and haven't made the playoffs in years. Savings? Very possible. Playoffs? Highly doubtful. Switch and see if you could save at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance and Affiliates, not available in all states. We cannot be held liable for your favorite team's terrible and frankly embarrassing performances now or ever.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Dear Truckin' Awesome. Want more horsepower in the stable? The Tundra iForce Max is the most powerful Tundra ever. With its electrifying twin-turbo V6, you got everything you need. Saddle up the Tacoma TRD Pro. Its segment-first performance seats are designed to smooth out the shocks when the ride gets bumpy. The Toyota 4Runner is part mean streak, part wild side, and an all-around icon. Check out that signature power rear window, will ya? Yes, sir, Toyota trucks. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers. Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, Village Point Toyota of Omaha, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, or Baxter Toyota of Lincoln.
Noddle Companies is proud to support Husker Athletics. As a leader in commercial real estate, we create thriving communities. Discover what's new in the Builders District in North Downtown, Sunny's at Exarban, and row house townhomes on Leavenworth. Noddle Companies is adding Omaha's first hybrid timber building to the skyline. Soon to follow is Builders Green Park, surrounded by mouth-watering food, exciting retail, and a hub of thriving businesses. Noddle Companies, building a better Nebraska. For more information, check us out on Facebook and Instagram. Go Huskers!
Did I forget something?
No, just wanted to tell you I love you. Oh, don't forget to buckle up. Drive safe.
I will. Love you too.
Someone is counting on you to buckle up. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
It's the Make It Ford Summer Sales Event at your Midwest Ford dealers. Get 0% financing or up to $4,250 bonus cash on F-150. Amazing offers and a great selection of the best-selling trucks in America for 47 years. Ford F-Series. These are the deals you've been waiting for, so don't wait. Make it Ford. Make it yours. Make it now. Get 0% financing for 36 months or up to $4,250 bonus cash on a new Ford F-150. Now, only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
At Groundworks, we take great pride in helping our Nebraska neighbors keep their homes healthy. From repairing foundations to waterproofing basements to fixing crawl spaces or lifting concrete driveways. We'd like to think our customers choose us because of our attention to detail or the fact that we're the nation's leading foundation solutions provider. What gives our customers the most comfort is we're right here in Nebraska. Visit groundworks.com for a free estimate. Groundworks. Foundation solutions crafted with pride. The official foundation company of the Huskers.
Welcome back, Sports Island, here on a Thursday night, 402-413-2400, the number if you want to be a part of the program. Great interview with Dusty Jonas there, Jess. I'm sure he's wishing he was in Paris, but the till thing happened so late he couldn't get credentialed. Is that right?
Yeah, it's obviously a complicated process. There's a lot of athletes, a lot of coaches that they have to navigate through, and you have to get credentials. And so, he had a couple athletes, if you'll recall, at the Olympic trials, which we've talked a lot about, how it's a lot of times harder to win the Olympic trials for the United States than it is to go on and compete at the Olympics. But he had a couple of high jumpers, Jenna Rogers, Tyus Wilson, who Jenna actually technically tied for third. She had a jump off, didn't win the jump off, but she tied for third, and then Tyus finished third. And so he had submitted his credentials for Team USA with those two athletes, but Till, since he wasn't on the actual team, and then Team Germany, I think there was some miscommunication there, so he wasn't on the list for Team Germany, and then it just happened so last minute. So yeah, he is actually going to be helping coach Till, but just through video reviews, watching what he sees live, and then passing along the pointers for the coach there to then pass along to Till. So he's actually going to, coach up as much as he can, but Tyus and Jenna were really, really close. It's a little bit different now, and unfortunate. Probably could argue that both of them should be there and had even jumped higher than a couple of the athletes that are there. But he was telling me before or after we were talking a lot. I learned so much today in the 30 minutes we were chatting, but he had said that he thinks Tyus has a chance to make the World Championship team. Very well could. And that's in the sport of track and field. It's the Olympics and it's the World Championships. And while there's a lot of fanfare and a lot of coverage with the Olympics, the World Championships is just as big of an honor. And he said Tyus has a really good shot at that team. So hopefully still going to keep hearing that name and see the Huskers continue to be well represented on that stage. I think there's no doubt about it. And, the fact that a lot of these top athletes in these sports want to come back and even train here at Nebraska to even get themselves to this level is also huge as well. I think this track and field program continues to be, I know it's been, one of the best, but it's going to continue to rise. And I think, as we've heard Coach St. Clair say, their goal is to compete not just for Big Ten titles, but for national titles. And they seem to be making the right trajectory towards that goal.
Are there some Husker coaches that are on the ground in Paris?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Coach St. Clair is there. He's got multiple athletes. Yeah, I know he's there. He's all in because I had asked about when I had reached out about trying to get somebody from track and field to give us a breakdown. Maddie Peterson, who's their SID, said, well, Coach St. Clair's a little busy. I was like, totally understand. He's got multiple throwers there that he's working with. And then, the other athletes wanted to focus in. So, but she said, actually, Dusty's here because of how everything unfolded so late with Till. So, thankfully Dusty was able to stop by and give us that perspective. But it was fascinating and really cool. And, reminder that Till is going to be able to come back because he redshirted in the outdoor season. So he actually still has another season left with the Huskers, which is awesome.
Fantastic. Tomorrow's August 2nd. That's the first day that the 4 new members of the Big Ten come into play. Think about those 4 programs, particularly Oregon, coming into this conference and how much that's going to bolster track and field. I mean, Oregon's, all that great facility out there. And, we've not talked about the 4 teams' impact on track and field, but it's going to be big.
Yeah, and I remember back when it was before they were headed to nationals and we had St. Clair on the program, and he said, though, that even with as well as the men performed at the Big Tens, he went and compared the scores of what the teams coming in from the Pac-12 did. They still would have won. So that just gives you a perspective of how good they were that day, and those teams are, I think it was USC men that were right there competing. They had pretty high scores going into the last day of nationals as a team competing for national title. Yeah, Oregon's always got a bunch of athletes, UCLA. So those are some really, really high level track programs that are coming in that will bring even more spotlight onto the overall sport, certainly in this conference.
Yeah, I had somebody today go, I haven't seen much track and field yet at the Olympics. I go, well, I haven't done anything.
Started yet.
Tomorrow.
It's like swimming. They separate swimming and track and field, and one of the sport takes up like the first half of the Olympics, and then the other one takes up the second half of the Olympics. So, but does track and field always close it out?
They do.
Okay.
Yeah.
So swimming's always at the beginning
events.
and track's always at the end, and it's like the first week is all swimming and the second week's all track and field.
Yeah, so it's coming, folks. If you're big track fans, it's headed your way. All right, 402-413-2400. We're back to wrap up tonight's show next.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health, and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
Woodhouse has been your premier destination for your automotive needs since 1975. Whether you're looking to purchase a new vehicle, sell your current one, or looking to service, our team ensures a convenient and seamless transaction from start to finish. Explore our wide selection of top brands and enjoy the peace of mind that comes with our team's dedication and decades of trusted service. Get started online at woodhouse.com and experience the Woodhouse difference today.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
At Groundworks, we take great pride in helping our Nebraska neighbors keep their homes healthy. From repairing foundations to waterproofing basements to fixing crawl spaces or lifting concrete driveways. We'd like to think our customers choose us because of our attention to detail or the fact that we're the nation's leading foundation solutions provider. What gives our customers the most comfort is we're right here in Nebraska. Visit groundworks.com for a free estimate. Groundworks. Foundation solutions crafted with pride. The official foundation company of the Huskers.
It's the Make It Ford Summer Sales Event at your Midwest Ford dealers. Get 0% financing or up to $4,250 bonus cash on F-150. Amazing offers and a great selection of the best-selling trucks in America for 47 years. Ford F-Series. These are the deals you've been waiting for, so don't wait. Make it Ford. Make it yours. Make it now. Get 0% financing for 36 months or up to $4,250 bonus cash on a new Ford F-150. Now, only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
Woodhouse Auto Family, your trusted auto partner. 20 brands, 20 convenient sales and service locations. We're making car buying on your terms. Go visit us online at woodhouse.com. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody. Final few minutes of our Thursday show. We will have our first live Friday show since May. tomorrow night as camp is open. We're going to hear from the quarterbacks tomorrow. They're going to be made available after practice. Quarterbacks coach Glenn Thomas is going to talk to the media. Offensive line coach Donovan Raiola also going to meet with the media. We'll clip that up for you tomorrow night here on the program. The NFL is underway tonight with a Hall of Fame game. The Texans lead the Bears 10-0. Jessica, they unveiled the new kickoff rule in the NFL. This is a totally different look, and college is kind of going this way as well. The kicker's kicking off from his normal spot, so the opposite 35. But the team that's on defense is kicking off. They're going to line up on their opponent's 40-yard line across there. Then the team that's returning the kick, their line is across the 35-yard line, so they're only 5 yards apart. So it almost turns into rugby. They only have to go 5 yards before they have contact to hit, block, and all those type of things. So I watched the first kickoff of the season earlier. It's put it up on social media. X had it out a little bit ago, but it gets rid of some of those major collisions, but gives the returner some yardage to try to run back before he runs into that wall of humanity. So it's a different look, but it's unveiled tonight, and that's what the NFL is going with.
Did they get much, returner get much traction?
No, got back to maybe the 25-yard line. So, but they think, in their research in doing this, they think they'll be able to pop some big returns. We'll see.
Coach Foley's been a fan of it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Most people like it because they feel like the return game has just kind of been taken away in the NFL. So they like this compromise, I guess is the word to say, that you're not going to have the huge collisions, but if you pop a hole and you block it right, you can get your returner to squirt through and go the distance. So we'll see how it works, and we'll see. People may not like it. It looks so different to the eye to see, 20 guys other than the kicker and the returner standing five yards apart from each other. It's just odd to the eye.
I'll have to go look. I haven't seen it yet, so I'll have to go check it out. I can't even in my head fathom it, so.
It's different. In college, how college kind of follows the NFL. Might do the same thing. All right, tomorrow night, again, we'll hear from Glenn Thomas. We'll hear from Donovan Raiola, see what kind of camp is going on. 3 practices will be in the books by tomorrow night. They had practice 2 today. We told you earlier in the program, volleyball picked to win the league, nudged Wisconsin in the ballot for that. 5 Huskers put on the preseason all-conference team. Volleyball begins practice on Monday, and I'm sure that team is anxious to get going. And also Monday, Husker soccer will have an exhibition game at Hibner. They'll take on the Kangaroos of Kansas City. Love it. They'll probably have to take some hydration breaks. Going to be probably pretty warm on Monday night, I would think.
It's here. It's crazy. Soccer starts so early, and then before you know it, they have a couple exhibition games, and then before you know it, they'll be opening up at home at Hibner. I just pulled up the kickoff. Yep, that definitely looks different.
It's hard to wrap your mind around it. You're just like, that doesn't look right, but that's...
It also doesn't look to me like, how is the returner going to have much room? But
I'm questioning the same thing you are. When I looked at that, I'm like, how's that going to work? How are you ever going to pop a guy loose with that? But they think, they've done research, they think it's going to happen. We'll see. Good show tonight. Great to hear from Dusty Jonas. Be watching that till he gets underway. Is it 3 a.m.?
3:05 a.m. is what the online article says on Huskers.com. So it's the 100-meter dash. That's his first one. So
I will not be up for that.
What? You're not going to set your alarm, get up bright and early, or at middle of the night?
Love you, Till. Not going to do it.
You watch the replay. That's what's great about Peacock. You can rewatch it.
That's right. Go back and spin it back. Camden, thank you. Great job running the show again tonight. Thanks to all of you. We'll be back tomorrow, our first Friday live show in about 3 months. We'll do it all with you tomorrow night.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Pickup truck, sports car, motorcycle, minivan, townhouse, 2-story, farmhouse, fixer-upper. What you drive and where you live is different for everyone, so it's important to have insurance that fits your needs and is just right for you. At Shelter Insurance, we understand that, which is why our agents help you design a comprehensive auto, home, and life insurance plan. Insurance that fits just right.
See Shelter Agent Tanya Blaine in Norfolk, Grant Wilbeck in Omaha, or Bud Morrell in Ocala.
At Groundworks, we take great pride in helping our Nebraska neighbors keep their homes healthy. From repairing foundations to waterproofing basements to fixing crawl spaces or lifting concrete driveways. We'd like to think our customers choose us because of our attention to detail or the fact that we're the nation's leading foundation solutions provider. What gives our customers the most comfort is we're right here in Nebraska. Visit groundworks.com for a free estimate. Groundworks. Foundation solutions crafted with pride. The official foundation company of the Huskers.
Woodhouse has been your premier destination for your automotive needs since 1975. Whether you're looking to purchase a new vehicle, sell your current one, or looking to service, our team ensures a convenient and seamless transaction from start to finish. Explore our wide selection of top brands and enjoy the peace of mind that comes with our team's dedication and decades of trusted service. Get started online at woodhouse.com and experience the Woodhouse difference today.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health and find a chiropractic physician near